something unusual has started happening with Social Security over the last few months. And the surprising part is that most retirees still have no idea it even exists. Across the United States, thousands of seniors are waking up to unexpected letters, emails, and account notifications from the Social Security Administration, and many of them are confused about what it actually means for their monthly checks. For some people, the change looks small at first glance. Just another administrative update, another verification step, another digital notice. But for retirees who depend on Social Security to cover rent, groceries, medication, and daily living expenses, even a small rule change can turn into a very expensive mistake. Imagine opening your bank account one morning and noticing that your Social Security payment hasn't arrived yet. At first, you might think it's just a delay, maybe a holiday, or a processing issue. But what many retirees are slowly discovering is that new administrative rules, digital verification requirements, and updated communication systems are quietly changing how the Social Security Administration interacts with beneficiaries. These updates are not always widely explained, and unfortunately, many seniors only learn about them after something goes wrong. The reality is that Social Security is going through subtle but important adjustments as the system moves further into digital processing, identity verification, and automated monitoring. That means certain actions that used to be optional are now becoming mandatory, and missing a notice, ignoring a verification request, or failing to update personal information can sometimes lead to delays, reviews, or temporary suspensions of benefits. And when your monthly payment is your financial lifeline, even a short interruption can cause serious stress. What makes this situation even more concerning is that many retirees assume nothing has changed because they've been receiving their benefits for years without any problems. But policies evolve, procedures change, and the way the government communicates with beneficiaries is shifting faster than many people realize. In some cases, notices are sent electronically instead of by traditional mail. In other situations, identity confirmations or account updates may be required within a specific time frame. Missing those steps can create complications that most seniors never expected to deal with. This is exactly why the new Social Security rule we're discussing today is so important. It's not being talked about nearly enough. Yet it has the potential to affect millions of retirees across the country. Understanding what the rule actually means, why it exists, and how to avoid the costly mistake that many seniors are already making could protect your benefits and give you peace of mind. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down what this new Social Security rule really is, why it was introduced, and most importantly, what simple steps you can take right now to make sure your monthly benefits stay safe and uninterrupted. Because when it comes to Social Security, the biggest risks are often the ones people never hear about until it's too late. Now let's take a closer look at what is actually happening with this new Social Security rule and why so many retirees across the United States are being caught off guard by it. The truth is, the Social Security Administration has been quietly changing the way it manages beneficiary accounts. These updates are part of a broader modernization effort that aims to reduce fraud, improve identity verification, and shift more communication toward digital systems. On paper, that may sound like a normal administrative update, but for millions of seniors who have relied on the same process for years, the change can feel confusing and even risky if they don't understand what is expected from them. For decades, most Social Security beneficiaries were used to receiving almost all official communication through traditional mail. Letters would arrive explaining any updates, verification requests, or notices related to benefits. Seniors had time to read the letter, respond if necessary, and continue receiving their payments without any interruption. However, the system today is gradually moving toward what the Social Security Administration calls an electronic first communication approach. In simple terms, this means that many important notifications may now be delivered through online accounts or email alerts instead of physical letters. And this is where the problem begins for many retirees. A surprising number of seniors either don't regularly check their email, don't have an online Social Security account, or simply assume that any important message will still arrive through the mailbox like it always did in the past. Unfortunately, that assumption is where the costly mistake starts to happen. When certain notices are sent digitally and the beneficiary doesn't see them in time, the system may assume the message has been delivered successfully, even though the person never actually read it. That can trigger follow up actions such as account reviews, benefit verification checks, or requests for additional information. Another important part of the new rule involves identity verification and account monitoring. Because Social Security payments are one of the largest federal programs in the country, the government has been increasing efforts to prevent fraud and identity theft. Criminals have attempted to redirect benefits, steal account access, or file fraudulent claims using stolen personal information. In response, the Social Security Administration has started strengthening its verification systems. That means beneficiaries may occasionally be asked to confirm their identity, update personal information, or verify account details through their official Social Security account. For seniors who already use their online Social Security account regularly, this process usually goes smoothly. But for those who have never created an account or who rarely log in, these verification requests can easily be missed. And when the system doesn't receive confirmation within a certain time period, it may trigger what's called a temporary administrative hold while the agency attempts to confirm the beneficiary's information. The hold does not mean benefits are permanently canceled, but it can delay payments until the issue is resolved. Another reason this rule has become more important recently is because of the growing number of retirees entering the Social Security system. Every single day, thousands of Americans reach retirement age and begin claiming benefits. Managing this enormous volume of accounts requires the agency to rely more on automation, digital tracking, and electronic communication. While these tools help the system operate more efficiently, they also require beneficiaries to stay more engaged with their accounts than in the past. Let's consider a very common situation that many retirees experience. A beneficiary moves to a new address, changes their phone number, or switches email providers. In the past, this might not have caused any major problems because official notices would still reach them through the mail or a simple phone call could resolve the issue. But today, if the Social Security account still contains outdated contact information, important alerts might be sent to an old email address or an inactive phone number. When that happens, the beneficiary may never receive the message, even though the system records it as delivered. This is exactly why experts and financial advisors are now encouraging retirees to take a few minutes to review their Social Security account information. It's not about creating unnecessary worry, but about making sure the system has the correct contact details so that important notices are not missed. Something as simple as verifying your email address, confirming your mailing address, or updating a phone number can prevent a surprising amount of confusion later. Another issue that has been increasing recently involves routine eligibility reviews. From time to time, the Social Security Administration conducts checks to confirm that beneficiaries are still eligible for the benefits they are receiving. This can involve verifying income levels, marital status, disability status, or other eligibility factors depending on the type of benefit. These reviews have always existed, but as the system becomes more automated, the requests for documentation or confirmation may appear through digital notifications rather than mailed letters. When retirees don't see these requests, the system may assume the verification was ignored, and that can temporarily pause payments until the information is confirmed. Again, this is not designed to punish beneficiaries, but rather to protect the integrity of the program and ensure that benefits are being distributed correctly. However, for someone who relies on their monthly check to cover essential expenses, even a short delay can create serious stress. Another factor that many seniors are not fully aware of is how quickly financial institutions and government systems now communicate with each other. Modern data systems can automatically flag inconsistencies between records, such as mismatched addresses, reported income changes, or unusual account activity. When something appears unusual, it can trigger a verification process designed to make sure the account is secure and accurate. Most of the time, these checks are resolved quickly, but they can require a response from the beneficiary before everything returns to normal. This is why the most important step any Social Security recipient can take right now is simply staying connected with their official account and communication channels. Creating a My Social Security account on the official Social Security website allows beneficiaries to see notices, verify payments, update information, and respond to requests quickly if something appears in the system. It's essentially the digital control center for your benefits, and having access to it gives retirees a much clearer view of what's happening with their account. At the same time, it's important to remember that not every message claiming to be from Social Security is legitimate. Scammers frequently try to take advantage of retirees by sending fake emails or text messages pretending to be government officials. These scams often create a sense of urgency and ask people to click suspicious links or provide personal information. The real Social Security Administration will never threaten immediate arrest, demand unusual payments, or ask for sensitive information through random messages. That's why it's always safest to log directly into the official Social Security website rather than clicking unknown links. What many experts are emphasizing today is that Social Security itself is not disappearing, and the benefits that retirees earned are still protected. The real issue is simply adapting to the modern communication system that the agency is now using. Seniors who stay informed, keep their contact information updated, and occasionally check their account are extremely unlikely to experience any serious problems. The difficulties usually arise only when messages are missed or when outdated contact information prevents the system from reaching the beneficiary. As the Social Security system continues evolving, understanding these small administrative changes can make a huge difference in protecting your financial stability. The good news is that once retirees become familiar with the new communication style and verification process, managing their benefits becomes much easier. A few minutes of attention today can prevent weeks of frustration later. And this is exactly why so many financial advisors are now encouraging seniors to treat their Social Security account the same way they treat their bank account. Just as people occasionally check their bank balance to make sure everything looks correct, checking the Social Security account once in a while ensures that no important notices are waiting and that all personal information remains accurate. In the end, the biggest mistake many retirees make is assuming that nothing has changed since the day they first started receiving benefits. The truth is that systems evolve, technology advances, and government programs adapt to new challenges. By staying informed and paying attention to these updates, seniors can continue receiving their benefits smoothly and confidently without any unnecessary surprises. And as we continue in this video, we'll also look at a few simple habits that experienced retirees use to make sure their Social Security benefits remain safe, predictable, and uninterrupted year after year. These small habits may seem simple, but they can make a powerful difference in protecting the income that millions of Americans depend on every single month.